everyone, Great Lakes Power Stroke here. Just coming back from a really awesome Memorial Day weekend. We did a decent bit of riding. I wish we would have done more, but we had a really good time. My buddy's X3 was a pretty amazing machine. It's incredible. Spent a lot of time running trails and logging roads and that sort of stuff. I mean, some of it was like legit trails, some of it were 2 tracks and logging trails and roads that are, you know, when you're way up north in Michigan, a lot of roads that are quote roads. I mean, they're more like trails than they are roads. But it was a really good time. Took the Power Stroke out and did a good bit of wheeling with it. Didn't really take much video because honestly we were just enjoying the beauty of nature up there. We'll get up there with cameras and all that and actually, like, you know, bring you guys along. But currently we're just running home right now. I'm not too far from home. Just doing one to give you guys real world numbers. I filled up way back up north, and I did do some trail riding, probably about 25-30 miles of just slow speed dinking around deep sand. It really was, you could really see the fuel economy suck. Not only are you in first gear, but I mean, when you're in deep sand, I didn't need 4-wheel drive or anything. The 35s really work good when you're in sand and stuff like that. And the X3s are got a lot of X3s going on here. The Grabber X3s are what I have on my truck, and they're really excellent in sand, at least in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure that there's quote better tires for the sand, but it really seems like the X3s are a good all-around tire, whether it be snow, road, or dirt, gravel, sand. They seem to really run the gamut of capability. So we'll do a full review on that because I have quite a few sets of them. The one set I had my power wagon for about 22,000 miles or something like that. And my dad has that set on his Cummins right now, on a set of Method race wheels, which I suppose I would do a review on that too, because I mean, hey, may as well give you guys as much information as I can. But anyway, so we want to get to the fuel economy stuff. This tank is 313 miles so far. I'm doing 55 miles an hour on a 55 mile an hour road. I was doing 68-ish the whole way home, basically on the highway, and the speed limit on that highway is 75. However, I was I didn't really feel the need to haul hind end down the highway. So anyway, I was doing 68, 67, something like that. And there was a fair amount of trail riding. I mean, certainly not a lot of miles, but at the same time, slow miles. When you're getting, like, you know, 6 or 8 miles a gallon, because I mean, you're in first gear and you're forward something to 1 first gear, so the engine's just spinning away. You're not really going anywhere. Anyway, so this tank has supposedly, according to Ford's calculation, averaged 12.9. I will fill it up and see what it comes out to, hard numbers, as close as I can get to it. But there's 8 hours and 5 minutes of driving on this tank. It says I have 86 miles left. Now, I did switch it over to the towing calculation for the distance till empty, which I think is a little bit underestimating, we'll put it that way. It looks like they're thinking this is a pretty heavy trailer, and I think it's more to get you to go fill up sooner so that you're in good shape. I've gone 314 miles now. I have just less than a quarter tank. I filled up my DEF tank before I left. I'm going to go into gauge view, and you can see DEF is, you know, the gauges are probably not linear. You know, they're a decent representation, but I'm certainly not going to try and do some high science on this. And it burned a touch of it. You know, it's not a big deal. I'm really impressed with the consumption of DEF. It's certainly not an end of the world thing. I really don't mind. It's like $5 for 2 gallons of it or whatever. Maybe it's a gallon, or maybe it was like $7 or $9 for 2 gallons. It doesn't really matter. I'll pull out the receipt and give you guys some decent numbers on it. But so far, I haven't had any check engine lights. There is some lights right now. There's a ton of bugs up north. So I use my pisser fluid a lot, and I'm low on pisser fluid, and I don't have my tire pressure monitoring in these 35s yet. And for the money that I got quoted to do it, I really don't care, because I think tire pressure monitoring is absolutely stupid. So I probably won't do it. I don't really mind seeing the stupid tire pressure gauge or warning, because I don't care. I have a gauge on my truck I monitor my tire pressures with. So, I mean, I know what I got. you know, I don't really care. So anyway, it's been a really good trip. That mile, let's see here, let me go back here to over here. I'm just coming into a small town right now, going nice and slow, as you can see. Over here to trip 2, this is the whole trip. I haven't looked at this in a while. So just about 600 miles, and 12.8 for that, and that's taking into account, I did a good bit of off-roading before I refilled. Sorry, a little shaky here. Little bumps. I did a good bit of off-roading on this tank 2. This is the whole trip from when I filled up right as I was leaving my buddy's house and at his local gas station or diesel pump. And this is the whole trip, so just about 600 miles. By the time I get home, it'll probably be 6:14 or something like that. And so it says 12.8. And there's 14 hours and 51 minutes of driving on this Memorial Day weekend of fun. So, wanted to give you guys, I mean, we're trying to be real here. We want to give you guys all the information we can because some of you are interested in purchasing a new diesel truck, whether it be a Power Stroke, Duramax, or Cummins. I mean, really, this is all the same deal. My dad's truck is very representative of what I'm seeing here. Yes, it's a manual transmission, so it gets better fuel economy. And on the way up, before we got into the off-roading, by the way, I want to chime in here, is somewhere between 13.8 and 14.2 with the trailer on doing highway speeds. That off-roading really kills your average fuel economy. It sucks down fuel, especially in the sand. I don't know if any of you guys are into off-road. I mean, I hope the people who are getting interested in this channel, I hope you guys are into off-roading like I am. But, I mean, we certainly didn't push the truck. I didn't need four-wheel drive at all. Most of the trails were really just really enjoyable and beautiful scenery. We will at some point be pushing this truck, but it'll be when I get a bumper and a winch, because I don't want to rip the air dam off this truck. I'd rather sell my bumper to somebody who actually wants to have a nice bumper and fog lights and all that fun stuff. So when we get to that point, obviously I will mention it. And if somebody on here has a truck they either need a new bumper, because I'm going to take it off when it's clean, there'll be no damage to it, or I'll just sell it locally or whatever the heck I might do. Maybe I'll bring it to the local Ford dealer and see if the collision department will buy it, or the collision place will buy it. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to do a few little things to the truck. I think the biggest thing that I found for this weekend is bumper, winch, light bar. Light bar on the bumper, maybe 2 or 3 light bars, pod lights, that sort of stuff. We need more lighting. Not that it's bad lighting. It's just, I mean, I'll just flip on brights really quick. We're in the middle of nowhere. Good lighting, great lighting, but doesn't compare to even a small light bar, or better yet, a high quality pod light, a 4x4 or whatever the heck they are, small pod light. Those are from like a high quality company like Baja Designs or whatever. They're kicking out some serious lumens that are competitive with the OEM headlights. So we'll probably do a couple of those in the bumper, and then probably a big old light bar across the bumper, and then probably I want to put a headache rack on this truck because I'll have my quad and stuff in back here. I mean, not that it really matters, but I guess, I don't know, keeps you from doing something stupid or throwing a kayak in here or something. I don't know. I think I'm going to put a headache rack on it so I can have a rear-facing, some lights, so we're backing up at night and stuff like that. There's a couple things I noticed. I did get the upfitter switches when I bought the truck, and I'd like to wire them up to do things. So we will keep you guys involved on that and using the upfitter switches. I'm trying to think of anything else I can say really quick. We'll do a proper, I guess, video. This is kind of, you know, just dashboards late at night. You know, I'm not going to flip on the lights inside my truck. You guys don't want to see me anyway. I will do my best to get some. I'm planning on potentially 2 weekends from now going up with my quad and doing a fair bit of trail riding on my own and doing some footage for Great Lakes Power Stroke, and also off-roading the truck a little bit with the quad in the back, and then we'll take the quad out and go for a rip. I mean, I think I'll probably camp either that Friday night or Saturday night. Maybe I'll go up Saturday and camp Saturday night. I don't know. We'll figure out something, but I would like to include some new content and get the channel rolling. So far, what I'm going to upload is kind of dry, and I truly do apologize, but you got to get started somewhere. You got to tell people what you're all about, and you got to get a basis for what you're doing here. So that's what I'm trying to do. trying to give you guys something to work on. In the meantime, so far, I'm at 9,624 miles, and my oil change, I think, is called for, my next oil change is called for about 10,600 or something like that. So about 1,000 miles more for an oil change. I'm going to drain the water separator probably tomorrow, because it's super easy to do. I need to get on the phone with SPE and order their billet aluminum beautiful friggin' drain. I don't care that it costs money because the thing that's on it is kind of rickety. So here's real world tip number, I don't know. The plastic drain on these are kind of a little questionable, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to replace it with a billet one, because I really didn't like when I drained it the first time how, we'll call it cheap, more like milk jug cheap it was. So hopefully everyone is aware of Snyder Performance Engineering. They seem to be they've kind of established themselves as power stroke experts, and I'm not at this point in no way working for SPE, but I've done quite a bit of research on the subject, and I have decided to fully dive into the SPE brand in terms of when I do we'll call them modifications to the truck. SPE will be my go-to. I have had quite a few conversations with the guys over there before buying the Power Stroke to get an idea, because I mean, I haven't owned a Power Stroke before. I have my Cummins. My dad had a Duramax. He now has a new Cummins. I spent a lot of time talking with those guys and get an idea of what I'm buying into. When you're paying this much money for a truck, you really want to look to the high performance guys. Those guys pushing the envelope, and drag racing, sled pulling, guys hot-shotting who are putting hundreds of thousands of miles on a truck a year. Those are the guys you really need to talk to when it comes down to it, because really, all three brands make great trucks. I'm going to say that right now. The Chevy's a great truck, the Dodge is a great truck, and the Ford's a great truck. What it really comes down to is what you need as an individual consumer. And the components that were in, sorry, I'm quite tired, guys. The components that are in this truck really were what I was looking for my specific truck. You know, like I said, the Cummins in prior video, the Cummins manual trans was really the only other thing on my menu. I knew I didn't want to have Chevy IFS. Sorry if that offends people. They don't ride very well, and they're pretty weak. Not that the differential's weak. I think the differentials have proven themselves to the point where I think we know not only is it an AAM 9.25, just like a Dodge has, it's just a independent front suspension design. But I think the real issue is, sorry guys, I got interrupted by a telephone call, so I'm gonna have to find a way to edit that back together. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off because I got a telephone call, and I'm sure it's gonna call right back again, screw it up again. So to kind of conclude that point, I wanted to run 35s on it. Can't run 35s on a Chevy without lifting the crap out of it, and it's really hard on ball joints and CVs and stuff like that when you start putting that much tire and turning it hard. So that's really why I went this direction. I know I've mentioned it before, but we kind of got back on that subject again, and I wanted an automatic for the new truck. Anyway, Great Lakes Power Stroke signing off, coming into town, and I'm ready to go to bed. So I'm going to back the trailer in, call it a night, unload tomorrow. Thank you all, and hopefully we'll get you some more content that is less dry and more fun. Until then, we got to do the basis for it. We got to start with a solid base for Great Lakes Power Stroke. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. I hope you had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and cheers to you all. See you later.